Sometimes a threshold concept is an aha moment, an epiphany, and even, why didn't somebody tell me that before? This threshold concept is writing is fun. Okay, now I know you might reply to that. Maybe it's fun for you, but it's hard work for me. But what I want to tell you is that writing can be fun. You make it fun with your attitude. Think for a moment about a video game you might have played recently where you're running down jungle paths or through cave corridors looking for that last gem or that last flower to finish on that level before you go to the next level. I've seen people spend 30, 45 minutes running constantly. From an observer standpoint, it looks like it's boring. But for the player, it's fun. It's a game. So how do we turn writing into a game? Well, it can be different for many of us, how to get that attitude. So all I can really do is tell you how I did it. I returned to school after several years, quite a few years actually. And even though I had been writing short stories, I was having a problem with this whole academic writing thing. I didn't quite understand what it was they wanted from me. I was a little confused. I was often frustrated. One day, I thought about a character that I had written once for a short story. He was somebody with a master's degree who was working at a community college. He was a little stuck up, right? He was a literature professor. You know how they could be. He liked people to call him Prof. He wore those jackets with the patches on the elbows, and he smoked a pipe. So I sat down one day with an assignment from English class, and instead of trying to write that essay, I had Prof write it for me. Sort of like he was dialogue in a story. And because I enjoyed writing short stories, suddenly writing this academic essay was fun. It was play. I enjoyed it. So how can you make writing fun? Well, we know for some of us it already is. If you're like to write short stories or poetry, then the challenge is how do we transfer that to writing academic articles that seem so dry and uninteresting. Some of us, we make it fun when we can write about something we care about. For instance, I had a student a couple of years ago. He was in a history class, Asian history, and he really wasn't that interested in the topic, but he was a gamer. And so I suggested to him, why don't you look at the two games of chess and Go. One was originated in India and one originated in China, and look at the different military strategies that were used at the time in those two countries. Suddenly he was a little bit more interested. He got very interested because it was about something he cared about, and he could extrapolate that into his history class. So how can you make writing fun? I can't tell you how to do that. What I can tell you is that if you use a little bit of imagination, play with it just a little bit, you can do that. If you want to talk about what possibilities there might be, I suggest you go to your composition instructor. I guarantee you that many of them would just jump at the chance to see you write something that's interesting and exciting to you. That's what they want to see, because one of the little secrets that we all know about writing is if you do make it fun and if you do enjoy it, you'll become a better writer.